When you change your frequency, you change your life. And it's this kind of magic that you witness when you see that because you have shifted within, that the universe seems to fix all your problems for you. You literally vibrate out of those experiences and into new ones. And really, if you're living at the frequency that matches your higher self, this frequency basically manifests everything for you. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Juliet. I'm a manifestation coach helping you to quantum jump into your highest timeline. If you enjoy this content, make sure to give this a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap that bell icon. If you would like to work together, that information's in the description box below, as well as the link to my meditation channel. This is a really important conversation. We need to really understand frequency and not kind of like push it off on the side and be focusing so much on all these different manifestation techniques. What's the right thing to do? Tell me what to do. Like, what's the exact words and what's the exact process and all of these pieces. And we kind of get lost forgetting that everything is frequency. And if you're gonna master anything, you wanna master this one thing. You wanna master being able to shift in frequency, understanding how this works, and being able to do that in order to shift to different parallel versions of your life. Every version of you exists, right? Every version of your life exists. Anything you can close your eyes and imagine, it exists, okay? In a parallel reality, in a parallel universe. And you are shifting between all these different timelines, these parallel realities, every second of every day. You do this all the time. It's very natural to you. You are naturally multidimensional. And all of these realities are happening at the same time. So whatever it is, like you living at the beach, you living in the city, you married, you single, you married to someone different, right? You healthy, you sick, all these different parallel realities, all these different potentials and possibilities, they're all existing in this one now moment. Remember, there is only one moment in all of existence. You don't really have this whole day where you're going through all these different moments. It's the same moment over and over and over from different parallel reality versions of it. So even when you get into your car and you're driving somewhere and you think that you are moving across time and space, right? You think you're actually going somewhere else. You're not. You're in the same one now moment, just in a different parallel reality version of it, a different version of this same exact moment, a different perspective, right? A different viewpoint of the same moment. So when we understand that this is what reality is, this is how it works, you don't actually go anywhere. You have the experience of going somewhere else. Even when you go on vacation or you move across the world, you didn't actually move anywhere. It's the same moment experienced in a parallel reality, in a parallel universe. When we understand that this is how it works, then we understand that the things that you're saying, I really want more of that. I really want more money, more success, more abundance. I really want that dream career. I want to, have that published successful book. I want to have that incredible relationship. I want to have that healthy body, whatever it is. That all of those versions of you who have those things, who are living those experiences, are here now. It's all happening in the same moment. It's all existing here and now, which means there is no time, space, or distance, right? There is no separation. There's the illusion of separation, yes? But there is no separation between you and any of these parallel realities, any of these potentials and possibilities, right? You don't even have to meditate to access them. You're accessing them all day, every day. And so if these realities exist, and they do, okay, then why can't I see them? Why can't I experience it right now? I mean, firstly, you can experience it right now by closing your eyes and visualizing it. You don't realize that when you use your imagination, you are actually tuning into another reality, another parallel version of you that exists here and now. And you're tuning yourself into that frame, into that reality. And also, your 5 senses are this filtering system, which will only show you what you most believe is true, what most is matching your dominant overall frequency. Yes, right now. That's what you experience in your life. You automatically line up with whatever potentials or parallel reality versions of you and your life that are a match to your current vibrational frequency. So that's why sometimes people, manifest like incredible things or incredible changes or transformations without focusing specifically on something, on trying to manifest something. Maybe they have been specific in defining what that thing is or that kind of life is in detail, but then a lot of times people let it go, right? And they're not really trying to manifest it. They're not really trying to focus upon it too much. But in whatever frequency they're outputting, they are aligning themselves to certain parallel realities and experiences that match that frequency. Therefore, they start to experience it as if by magic. Like, oh my God, I wasn't even doing anything. I wasn't even thinking about like this thing. I couldn't even imagine that it could be like this, or wasn't expecting it. That is how we are able to manifest as if by magic. Like, we're not even really trying, but we've shifted in frequency enough to be able to experience these realities that we're now a match to. So all of these parallel realities, all these versions of you, the reason why you can't see them is because they're just on different frequencies. I'm sure you've heard the analogy many, many times. A radio station. If you're tuned to 101.2 FM, you're not going to hear what's at 103.5. They're different frequencies, and yet they all exist. And there is music and, people talking about different things all at the same time. But you will only see what you are tuned to, what station you click onto. But they're all here. And so when you think about, for example, the version of you who is just has this incredible relationship, for example, and you can even just, as you start to, whether you're thinking about it, whether you're visualizing it, or maybe you're writing it down, like scripting it. If you're not a visual person, you can write it instead. And as you're doing that, you can start to feel like what it actually feels like to have that thing. Or maybe you can visually see how this version of you behaves or feels, or what they do, what they believe. You can kind of see the differences. And those are showing you how these realities are different in frequency. Like, really, that is the frequency you want to match in order to pair up with that parallel reality potential in this now moment. So at any point throughout your day, you can visit, in a sense, these versions of you. Not in a way where you're trying to fix something, you're trying to change something, you're stressing out and you're trying to figure out something. No. Because you are so in survival, you are so in the physical mind You're closed off to your higher self, to your higher mind. You're in such a frequency of lack or separation that it's too difficult to even do that. It's just such a vastly different frequency. So first you want to center yourself. First you want to come back into your heart. You want to come back into homeostasis, into relaxation. However you want to do that. You come back into the fifth dimensional consciousness, which is one of wholeness. And then if you are just to, like I said, close your eyes, or you could write it, or you could speak it out loud. There's no right or wrong. And you visit this version of yourself who has that thing. It's happening in real time. Real time now, because everything is. And if you can kind of sense what that frequency is. And I know for a lot of people, we get so in the physical mind of, yeah, I guess it would be like this. You're so in the mind that you're not at all connected to this reality or this potential. You're still in the physical mind trying to figure it out or trying to see what it's like, as opposed to really including the heart in this, the body, right? Just really connecting the mind and body, and not just being so in the physical mind, like really tuning into what that's like and how you're different and what it feels like. What is the frequency that you would need to match, right, in order to experience that potential? And can you do that? Yes, you can. No more excuses of like, no, I can't, or it's too hard, or no, but my circumstances are different. No. And it's not this huge, difficult thing to do. Although your old identity, your limiting belief system will try to trick you into thinking it's difficult to do, so you don't ever do it. It's actually easy. It's actually natural to you, for you. You can give yourself permission to match that frequency at any time. At any time. Even in just small, subtle ways. Through feeling, through thought, through word, through action, behaviors, whatever. You can do that. Although your limiting belief system, your old self, that subconscious kind of programming that has been going on for a while, can just kind of kick up a little bit of a fight, only because it thinks that you're moving into something unknown and that you're not safe. So it's trying to protect you. Yes, it's nothing to be invalidating or judging, but it will try to trick you into thinking that what you're, whatever feeling you want to feel or whatever action you want to take, oh no, that's hard. Oh, it's scary. Something bad's going to happen. Something bad's over there. And it's funny because if you actually give yourself permission to be that version of yourself, or to feel that feeling you want to feel, or to not do some of the things that you usually do, or to take those actions that seem really scary, you actually see what's on the other side of it. You actually see that it was an illusion. You actually see your biggest growth and expansion was right there, and that is the reason that this old version of you, this old kind of programming, didn't want you to go there. Didn't want you to do that thing. Didn't want you to look there. Didn't want you to feel those feelings because it kind of knows something really good there. And then everything would have to change. If you change, everything has to change, because there's nothing outside of you. There is no physical reality outside of us. It's all frequency. So again, let's talk about this frequency thing. Nothing is solid. Nothing is solid. Everything is energy. Everything is frequency disguising itself as something that is solid, as something that is, matter. But it actually is still just different rates of frequency. And so, like I mentioned, it's not difficult. It's not a difficult thing to shift in frequency, even to shift into a vastly different frequency. Because I have done this sometimes by accident, and I have done this by taking lots of small steps. So everything can change your frequency. So for example, the water I drink right now will have an effect on my frequency. The action that I decide to make after this video can shift in frequency. Like I could choose to go scroll on social media, for example. That would put me in a certain frequency. But I could also choose to go outside and just sit in the sun for a few minutes. That would alter my frequency and probably in the direction that I want it to go in. When you eat a food, it changes your frequency. When you think thoughts, it changes your frequency. So it is really, like I've mentioned before, choosing more in the direction of the frequency that you really experienced, that you saw, that you felt, that you connected to in your visualization of when you peered in to this other parallel reality, this other parallel version of you. And making more of the little tweaks, the little decisions, the little choices and changes that actually bring you more and more into that frequency. And then how willing are you to actually follow through, to actually act on it? I know for myself, and I know for so many other people, not just with manifestation, but since that's what I'm talking about, in our lives, we tend to learn. Let's learn more knowledge, more information, more techniques, more processes, more to do. What's the right thing to do? And many of us are not actually shifting our frequency when we do these things, even if we are doing more, or if we're actually doing things that seem like I'm doing all the right things. I'm meditating, I'm spending time outside, I've changed my diet, I wear different clothes, whatever. I raise my prices. I'm not spending time with those people that, they didn't really inspire me or light me up in any way. I was just doing it out of habit. So we're making all these changes, but sometimes we are so focused on the doing to try and get, the doing to try and be, the doing to try and change our frequency. That rhymed, so it's true. That we don't actually shift in frequency because we're so in our heads. We're still doing this as the old identity, trying to get to the new life, trying to get to the outcome, trying to be that person, trying to shift in frequency. But we didn't actually, like when we meditated, because I know this has happened to me and I know it's happened to a lot of my clients. We're meditating and then we come out of the meditation like, do I feel better? Did I shift? Did I do that right? Did I visualize correctly? And sometimes even in the meditation, or if you're doing a visualization, it's sometimes being so in the physical mind that you're just like trying so hard to visualize it, to make it happen. You didn't shift in frequency. You're the old self trying to do more, to try and get more. Sometimes we're like, yeah, I'll go for a walk. It always, that'll shift my frequency or whatever. Oh, maybe I'll receive some really great ideas for my business or for this issue that I'm facing. And then we go on the walk and we're thinking about the things we have to do next, right? Or we're thinking about how to get that thing. We might be still so in our physical mind while we're in the shower. These moments where you can actually, you have the opportunity to be present in the thing that you're doing, even present in the food you're eating, even present in creating content or doing something for your work or your passion, your art, your creativity, or your business, and being fully present and having fun with it, as opposed to, oh, will people like this, or will people buy this, or like, how should I do it? And being so like, again, not in the moment, not allowing that action or that thing to shift your frequency. Or maybe you're thinking very negatively even when you're eating something healthy, and so you don't even reap the health benefits from it because the negative thoughts and emotions kind of like take over. And like, I've heard Abraham Hicks say, and I've heard Joe Dispenza say, guilt, for example, is way worse for the body than the junk food that you're eating. And so it's looking at, okay, I have been doing all these processes, I've been doing affirmations, and I've been doing visualization, but am I actually allowing this thing to be fun? Am I present in the moment when I'm doing it? Have I actually centered myself to completely tune into this other reality and experience it? Am I having fun? Am I in my heart? Am I enjoying what I'm doing? Am I allowing the thing to shift my frequency as opposed to trying to shift my frequency? Right? It's so different. Because I noticed I was doing this at one point of like almost like this to-do list, ticking off all the different things to do, shift my frequency, change my energy, change my life, let's go. And people can be like all in, but they're still all in from the old identity. As opposed to enjoying each moment, doing the meditation because it feels so good and nice and relaxing and refreshing. And it's not even like you're doing the meditation in the moment to try and change something in that moment, but for how it changes your energy for the rest of your day. What it then lines you up with. But many of us are not doing that. And so we're not really shifting in frequency. We're just doing all the things, but we're still not really shifting how we feel. We're not present with the things that we're doing or the life that we are living. We're not really living. We're trying to get somewhere. We're trying to be someone. We're trying to change something, as opposed to just being it, as opposed to just feeling it. And so that's why when teachers say, like Abraham Hicks would always say, still does, like, get in the vortex, meaning get happy. Get happy. Whatever you can do to get happy. You don't have to be happy all the time, but basically follow your joy. And it's why Bashar says, follow your passion, act on your passion, follow your excitement moment by moment. Abraham Hicks said pretty much the same thing. Follow your happiness moment by moment. Joe Dispenza pretty much says the same thing, is you got to change your state, be more in the heart, be feeling more elevated emotions, but you can't do it to try and get something because then you're back in the old self and you have not changed. Do not expect anything in your reality to change very much at all because you didn't. You didn't shift your frequency. So when these teachers say these things, it's this thing of like, oh, let me go follow this, the next best step, the next best aligned, most aligned step, or the next option that feels the most exciting or holds the most joy, or what would make me feel joyful right now. The counsel, who's channeled by Sarah Landon, says the exact same thing. What would bring me joy right now? Continue to follow it, because they know if you raise in consciousness, aka raise in frequency, you align automatically with the parallel realities that you actually want to live. But you must do it from the joyful place, not from the let's try to be joyful place or let's try to be relaxed. It's really being like a child of doing the next best feeling thing, no matter what that is. Don't judge it. Could be that you want to clean your room. Don't judge what it is. But the next best feeling thing, or what would bring me joy right now, what would, whatever. It's doing it because you want to do it. It's doing it because it's fun. It's doing it because it's joyful. It's doing it because you like feeling creative. Not because, oh yes, I'm going to make X amount of money, or I might get like this many likes on my Instagram post, or because if I do this thing, I'm going to lose the weight, or whatever it is, right? It's putting the expectations, or as Bashar would say, the insistence aside, so that you can fully immerse yourself in whatever it is you're doing, to fully reap the benefits, to actually shift in frequency. And so you acting on more of your joy, whether it is through mind, emotion, or behaviors and action, will shift your frequency. And the biggest illusion or lie that we have been taught is that this is a difficult thing for you to do, and you can't just do it. You can't just do this. Like, this is hard, right? And that's not true. You can do it now, you can be it now, you can feel it now, you can tune into that now, and it is all about your decision of when you will give yourself permission to do it. As soon as you actually give yourself permission, as soon as you actually decide to change, not like, yeah, I'm going to try and change. No, you decide that you're now this different person. And you start to just act in that way because you want to, and you're done with doing it how you were. Like it wasn't giving you what you wanted. It wasn't working. It wasn't what you deserved. And it was not very fun. So you're done with that, and you're now just doing something different. That is the time when everything changes, because you did. So the magic of this is, if there is anything in your life that feels like, I'm stuck, I don't know how this is going to work out, I don't know what to do, good. Because now you're actually going to be stretching into the unknown. It's actually pushing you into the unknown of like, if you've got very few choices, then really the best thing, or maybe the only thing that you can do in certain situations is to change. Watch as the universe fixes all your problems for you. Of course, there may be action involved, but it's like it just kind of flows through you, or it just kind of happens, or it's just kind of more effortless. But this higher version of you takes care of everything. You don't have to try and figure out anything. The whole thing was to get you to focus on you and your frequency and your energy, your joy, your wholeness. And then once you do, everything shifts. Everything changes. And this is the most simplest way that I can explain quantum jumping. How could you possibly jump from like one reality where you're living all these things, maybe you got all these problems, or maybe you're just stuck and you're not really progressing, even though your life's pretty good. Maybe it's pretty great, but you're still kind of stuck at a certain level. And how would I get from this to like this? And then it's realizing you don't have to actually do more. You need to shift to that frequency. What does that feel like? What do you look like? What are you doing? How are you acting? What is the frequency? What is the feeling of that reality? Can you get so good at feeling that it just becomes who you are? Therefore, you're now living that life, because that's what will happen. If you get so good at mastering that frequency, therefore, like I said, the feeling of it, who is that version of me? And maybe even how does she dress? How does she walk? What's different? That's the question I like to ask. What's different about this? And what's the feeling here? And how can I master this feeling in this now moment to therefore align me with this reality? And this is when the magic happens. This is when it feels like you're living in some sort of magical world, because things just seem to come to you. Things just seem to find you. They just seem to happen, or you just know the right action. You just have the brilliant idea. You seem to start acting in different ways as if by magic. Why? Because you are on that frequency. So can you get so good at practicing that frequency of whatever it is that you're looking for? You could do like specific things, like I said, actions and behaviors and thoughts or beliefs that this version of you does or chooses, but also just in general of that, how that life feels. Well, I feel in love with life. I feel completely free. I feel so powerful and so blessed. Okay, perfect, or grateful. How am I going to focus on those feelings? How am I going to bring those and practice those more in my daily life? Let's do it. Let's act on it. Let's create a plan if I have to, just so I can get this kind of programmed into my brain of this is who I am. This is how I feel. This is my life. This is the person that I am. All right, that is it for this video. I could talk forever on this subject, but I think this video is already very, very long. So if you did enjoy this, if you got something out of it, let me know in the comment section below by liking it, sharing, and subscribing if you haven't already. And if you would like to work together, that information's in the description box below. Have an amazing day. I'll see you next time.